Yeah, we're back.
Hello.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I'm back.
Yeah, we're all back.
Yes, me too. All right. Yeah, so we have multiple options for
Can you
what
share
we
the
do
screen?
with buttons. Yes, I will. 1 second. Sure.
Got it.
Yeah.
All right.
And Jelle, very much appreciating the work you've done and you going through with us through it, how it all works. It makes much more sense now.
Yeah, that's the purpose of this meeting, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah, so as for what buttons do, how we switch between screens, I think that's something we can discuss perhaps this meeting or maybe next meeting.
Yeah, I think after the meeting, I will make some drawings for the screens, how they could look like, and how we can implement the buttons, and we can discuss it from then later on.
Mhm.
Yes,
I think this meeting we should focus on what you're doing now, explaining what you've done and how things
Yeah.
are linked together. That would be very useful for us, at least for me.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so I'll just continue. So yeah, the controller will be handling the button presses in this case, and to schedule the button events to transition between states. So let's go to controller states. Yeah. So yeah, that's the initialized device. Then once everything is initialized, it will also schedule the event. And then it will go to the post-initialized state, which currently, well, it just waits 5 seconds. And that's like the splash screen. We can remove this state if we want, of course. Which I think just, we can just remove it, or we can just remove the timer, and then perhaps implement something else in the future. But for now, we can just skip the splash screen. And then the no SD card state, where you can see that it currently handles 3 events: the button presses to shut down, to reboot actually. So for the shutdown, we can also do a normal shutdown. As you can see, it uses the M5 power off or the M5 shutdown, or just the ESP restart, which is the reboot.
But I'm not sure if that restart. But normally a restart is on the bGeigieZen. I would assume just turning the power off.
A restart. Well, I mean, we can, like, if we have this no SD card error.
I see. After the
SD card,
yes.
you can just press on a button and we can go through the software to restart.
Yeah, that makes sense now. I mean, I was just thinking about if you just want to switch it off, but there's on switch on. But SD card, I agree. This is much easier.
Yeah, exactly. But you can also like turn it off if, I don't know, if we want to do that. The option is there.
That's true.
I know it could be useful.
No, I think it's very useful if you know it.
Yeah, and then I have like some states, no implementation yet, like the measurement mode state and the configuration mode state. And then there's a reset state, which resets the system. So that's basically perhaps handling some event that you hold a button for 10 seconds or something, and then it will go into this state, reset, and then shut down or restart actually. That's what this does as well. So as you can see, I don't have the config implemented yet, but it will then reboot as well. So that's basically what I've done at this point. I can show some, so I have the battery indicator implemented, the first version at least. So it has the data, the percentage of the battery,
Mhm.
and if it's charging.
And then we can indicate that in the indicator if it's a color or something like that. That would be very nice. Then you
We
can,
can have like an area on the screen where it shows some battery icon if it's charging or not. And then
yeah.
this is
So
the
if
setup,
change to red if it's very low or something like
for
that.
example.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah.
That's a big
We got
improvement on the
the.
Nano. That's good.
Is it? I think the Nano also has
Oh
battery
yeah,
indicator.
it has a numbering, but this is more nicer. If it change color, you can directly see.
Yeah. Well, the screen will handle that. We can figure something out. So this is the Geiger sensor. I don't know how we will implement it yet. We can just take over the code from, I don't know, the
Robin,
Nano,
what we
or
done? Now,
I think.
be careful to go to the Nano. There's still a small bug in there. I think if you take the latest firmware from Nano,
Yeah. I think there
because
was here.
Ray had made some changes because there was not
Hmm,
counting exactly. We were missing some count sometimes.
I see. This one perhaps. Geiger counter. I don't know. There's some implementation in here. We can take a look at it, and
But
I'm not sure if this is.
but that is what Robin made, isn't it?
Yeah,
That
this
one.
is what Robin made. Yeah.
Yeah.
At least I think this is what. Oh, that Robin made all of this, because
I think so. Yes.
I did go through some of this code, and I did also see some improvements. Like he has like this state machine. What he did was he has like each state has like a singleton instance, which is a fine way of doing this, because then you don't have to use new. Well, one time basically. So, but you don't have to delete the pointers. I personally have no issues with that, and this might be a bit better, more stable, you could say, because you don't have to create new memory instances on the heap. But I think at this point it doesn't really matter. This is more like optimization, if it is an optimization.
No, I think it's a
Or
crucial thing because there were many issues with that. And I prefer to keep
right.
it the way Robin made it. And Robin has been testing
Yeah,
it quite a
okay.
while.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So I will be implementing this as well, so we don't have
Yes.
to we don't ever have to delete call the delete on pointers.
What do you want to say,
Um,
Louis? Louis want to say something?
No, quite agree, because that was one of the concerns, is about basically runaway pointers, or having to play around with the memory, allocate, deallocate, all that stuff. Or
yeah. Well, for the state machine, you couldn't really create a pointer and then not delete it at some point. It will always
right.
override basically. So it is safe enough, but there's always, if you have to delete heap memory, there's always like getting holes in there or something. Like
Yeah.
you don't really want that. So I think this is a better way to do this. So I will be implementing the singleton states as well. I did use like yeah, in the setup I created all the workers, etc. also on the heap, because the buttons, for example, are not available.
On the what? On the Yeep?
Yeah, this is
Oh,
like
the
if
yeah,
you
the Yeep.
yeah,
Yeah.
you have like the heap memory and like the stack memory, but if I'm in the setup stack, then I don't have these values in, well, as soon as you leave this scope, they will be gone. So
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I created them on the heap in this sense. Like you can also create them outside, like I did with the controller. But yeah, the controller kind of needs it. Well, doesn't really have to, but it's fine. Like the controller is fine. But these can all go on the heap. So I've got more stack memory as well. Doesn't really matter
Yeah, we still
It's,
have a
it's
lot of
basically the
memory left.
same, but we never delete these anyway. Like we just have these workers, end of story, basically.
Do they take a lot of memory, or is it not so much?
No, this is basically nothing. Like I
Okay.
think the size of this button, it's just a reference to the M5 button, and that's all the memory it takes.
Okay, that's good.
So, well, other than like the implementation of the class, which is already in some other part of the memory, so that doesn't matter for runtime. Let's see. Yeah, so we got the GM sensor, and then we have the GPS connector. I still have to add the date time to this as well, but we have like the classic if it's available or not, and then the data itself. And then in some way we have to connect this. I have some dummy data in there.
Do we have also like a minimum of satellites that need to be available before it?
Right.
It considers that valid.
Yeah, I think that's like 4 or something. So in the
that's
we
implemented.
can have I don't know, like see like satellites. Oh well, satellites.
Yeah, one.
How do you type that?
No.
2 L's.
Okay.
I think it's 2 L's.
Oh, okay, good.
Yes. Okay. No. That's on recording. Oh, whoops. Don't mind that. Whoever watches this.
No. I mean, it's not our native language, so any language is fine. I mean, it's not native to your local language.
I could have called it SATs or something.
That's yeah.
All right. So yeah, we have to expand this data a bit,
Yes,
but we can do that as soon as we continue the implementation. And then we have the SD card wrapper.
Sorry, one question I have. The identifiers,
yes.
What's that?
This is just some enums for the workers and data handlers.
Oh, okay.
These are for getting the worker as a worker. Let's see, we can go to controller. See, I can get button A by asking for the worker A. Worker button A.
Why do you call them K? K worker.
Well, it's something. Let's see. The K is like a constant.
Okay.
With a hard K, as in this is an enum. Well, no, I think the constant is also with a C in
yeah, normally it's with a C, I think.
But it's some fragment of my studies where my student colleague used this annotation for enums, and I was like, okay, I like that.
That's a good idea.
So yeah.
Sorry, for me it feels a C.
No, it's okay.
I'm maybe picky about those things, but K
is
very Dutch feeling or German.
Yeah, okay.
But
I think there's in the events here. Yeah, here I use E as enum. It's not that consistent. I can change it if that's better. But I also use C to for example, this is the enum for the controller event for device initialized.
So that's good because you have the K and the C separate functions. So that's good. That's great. Yeah.
Right.
The C is from controller and the K is from the other one. Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah. Okay.
That makes much more sense. Yeah. Controller is the C. Not the constant. Yes.
But the K is just like
that's it's good. It's even better this way. The K.
It's okay. We can identify as soon as we use it somewhere. For example, in the controller here, you can see like, oh, this is some worker or something. Like it's not something else. So if we use this, we use it in combination with the worker.
Yeah.
It doesn't really, yeah, to me, it doesn't really matter as long as we're consistent.
Right.
Yes,
I get it.
that's true.
We can still discuss about our like code consistency uses. I didn't.
We dropped you.
Yeah, you styling. I'm not sure if it was intentional or let's see. Yeah, you changed to this styling, and I used this one, like with the curly brackets.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so I had some merge conflicts earlier today. You can see like there is some conflicts. I merged my own, so these have like the curly brackets after the line. This one is on a new line. So
that's that has to do with the formatting. I just select all and do automatically formatting.
yes. So we kind of have to decide on which way do we want.
I prefer to have them behind them, so you can see only where it ends. I mean, like
right. Okay.
You have
like this.
Yes, I think I have to set up my styling that it picks it up.
Yeah, it's probably some in the VS Code.
Yeah, something. I think so too.
That's
Prettifier does that, I think. So I will figure it out because I like the short and clean.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. If you can fix that, I can
do that. That's
yeah. Okay. I just reformat it again.
Yeah.
Just press one button. So
you can I'm not sure if you can do all the reformatting for all the. I am not familiar with that. I do it normally one by one.
I can do it like this.
Oh, that's even easy. I didn't know that. How did you do that? Right click on it?
No, yeah, what's ID feature? So I do like Control Alt L, and I can reformat code. I can optimize imports.
Oh, wow!
Do all these things.
Oh, I have to check that because that's very useful. Clean up the code even.
Wow. I don't know if VS Code has this feature. Yeah, this is C Lion, so
it's probably that it's in there somewhere. It's a different function, but
it's probably somewhere in there.
Yeah, it's there.
I mean, make sure that your code style is matching, because else you. Well,
yeah, that's
I know, because there's also like, oh, do we want like a space behind or not? Like that's also a thing. Wait, if I could just check quickly.
I prefer to go the way you work. So, you can see here, you can set up.
Yeah, I think.
Can you export it, your settings? I mean, for this formatting. So maybe I can import it somewhere.
Clang format?
Maybe that will work. If it does that.
Yeah.
You put it in the miscellaneous doc or something. Oh no, you put it in the root. That's good.
Yeah, here's the Clang format.
Yeah. Oh, good. Yeah. Then we can all take that. Did you saw that, Louis?
Yeah, I saw that Clang format. So now, oh yeah, okay, I see the file there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And VS Code will read that file?
VS Code can import. Yeah, Clang format is like universal.
Yeah.
Okay.
C-line format. That's you should be able to pick that up.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
So then we are at least at one format. Let's say this one. It's good.
Yes. Okay. As for the SD card wrapper, I kind of want this wrapper to do more than just begin. This is also a singleton instance, by the way. So it has like the instance. Well, I call it I to make it a bit shorter. I should probably. No, they're common instance.
Yeah, that's fine.
But yeah, I want this to have some other functions. I'll be adding like some constants as well for like checking if a file is there, opening a new log file, etc. Those kind of functions, like write new log entry. But basically all the functions you would have, you would want for this device to control the SD card. I think on the SD card, we would have a file in where the device ID is stored.
Yes,
Is that
like we have called the safecasts.txt where the data is.
right?
And if you
So
put that,
what I want is I want a function here where I can, like, if there is an SD card, I want to open the file, read the ID, load the ID, and if that one is not available, I also want to enter the state where it says no SD card. Although maybe a bit different, like there's no valid SD card or missing safecasts.txt, something in that sense.
but that's already implemented, I think, isn't it?
Is that so? I don't think so.
Yes, on the code from Robin there is one.
Oh yeah, well, no, well, yeah, well, okay. Well, the thing is, it was not in his wrapper because I did
True.
take this
It's not in
wrapper
the wrapper, that's
from
correct.
here. But it's true to say that there was indeed where.
Because I remember seeing that, and if
Yeah,
it
let me just. There's like so is the. This must be some.
well, if you search for SD card not found, then it's very easy.
Oh yeah, that's true. Well, yeah. SD card not found.
Not found.
No SD card
No card
installed.
is locked.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so this is indeed what I've seen. I also took this text, of course. But the thing is, oh, this one, I think. Filter read config from file.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's just a serial print. So
Yes,
it doesn't throw an error or anything.
No.
So that's something we can fix. But as I said, I want the SD wrapper to do these things.
Yes,
Like,
I imagine it.
to say like load, give me the contents of the setup file, and then the SD wrapper will do that. So the SD wrapper, it's more like a SD card interface, like Zen specific interface for the SD. So we can just use the SD card interface to get data wherever we need, for the logger to just call the SD card log new thingy, like log new measurement to file, and then the SD card wrapper or interface will then do that.
One important thing about the SD card is the formatting for the file names. It's very confusing for the. Now Robin made I think if a year, and then it goes into the files in a year, so they cannot be double like on the bGeiggie Nano. After a year, it can overwrite the same file.
Oh, really? Yeah,
Yes?
I think
Yes.
like going with year, month, date, like just ISO format, then you can kind of see like, oh, I turn it on
Yeah, but
that day, so it's
the
probably that
problem
day.
is the file name cannot be longer than I think 8.
8?
The file
Really?
name.
I see.
Because
Okay.
it's a limit of the locker, I think.
But is that
Well,
a
is that
limit of the open log, or is that a
Yes.
limit of, because we don't use the open log, right?
That's true. If that works on the SD card, on the core, then it's fine. We can make our own locking format. It doesn't matter.
Well,
Yes,
if
okay.
the SD
Well,
card is
Oh,
formatted
be very careful, because I'm not sure how the code is implemented when it goes into the API. If it reads the name is being used in, so the name of the file is being,
okay.
we have to be very careful there.
I can't imagine that the name is relevant when plugging it into the API,
Because when they
because all the
upload it,
data
no, they upload it.
could be.
Yeah,
but you read
I'll
like the
tell you.
contents of the file, and then you have all the dates, etc. Dates and data points.
I'm not
But
sure how it's
we'll have to see. Maybe ask around, but yeah, that's something we'll encounter.
I was just thinking about an option for, is it possible to, let's say, reformat the SD card? Because sometimes in the field there's issues and errors with the SD card, and you sometimes would like to have reformatting. Then you have to.
Right.
It's an idea. It's not necessary, but it's just came up for about that would
I think
that. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure that's a good idea because of the chances of accidentally reformatting and losing all your data.
Yeah,
that is true. I think I don't think it's possible now. But
if it's a problem, then the remedy is to put it into a regular reader and reformat it using a Mac or whatever, or like a desktop or laptop, because that's, I mean, it's an unusual situation.
Yeah, I agree with you. Just I sometimes need that, but that's because maybe I have sometimes bad loggers from other people or other things.
Right. But talking about that scenario, maybe it's nice that if you insert a clean SD card, like with no text at all, like we were talking about the safecost.txt with some config, maybe we can show like a screen that says, well, you insert an empty SD card or an SD card without safecost.txt. Would you like to generate one based on this device ID that was saved in the memory?
Yeah, that's a good idea. We can think about that. Yeah.
Because then, like, even if you lose or like format your SD card, or your SD card becomes corrupt and you buy a new one, you plug it in, well, you're still missing some things, and then you have to like go into a computer, like create a file, blah blah blah. It's a bit of a hassle, I think. So maybe that's a nice little feature we can add as well.
Yeah, I like that. That's a very good idea.
All right. So that would mean we have like an additional state, like the no SD card config file state, where you can like press a button and then like press a button to generate or press a button to restart, or like, I don't know, so something like that. We can figure something out. Yeah, I think that's it's a good feature to have as well. And then if we don't have a device ID saved on the device itself, we could just show the error like this is a new device and you have entered inserted an empty SD card, we cannot continue, something like that. Then the user will have to generate its own file for the initial startup. But all right, that's cool. I think this is all the code.
User config. That's the same one.
User. Oh right. Yeah. So in here I have the config taken from the archive, what Robin made.
Yeah.
Plus the config that I had on my bGeigieZen. So it's a bit double at the moment. I'll have to find out. Yeah, there's some things I did need, like the SD pin.
Yeah, you don't need that.
Although this one, yeah, it doesn't really matter. But there are some things that we need, some things that we might not need. Like this is nice, a setup file name. But there are some double things. So maybe I can just remove some things. All right.
And for the config for the web server is also in there, I assume. In the user config.
Yeah, that's this one. Yeah. Access point settings. So you get like bGeigieZen with your ID. Although Robin also had something which had.
Yeah, they're not overlapping.
Yeah, no, there's no overlap. I think maybe I removed that. No, here, access point SSID, access point SID. It does overlap. How funny.
Yeah, I like
Yeah,
the
but this
bGeigieZen.
one is just bGeigieZen, and then it says with device ID. This one has some formatting as well, so
bGeigieZen,
you
yeah.
can use. Yeah. Well, we'll have to figure out something out. I just copied the code, and we'll have to see because these are quite useful. And I
Oh, the other
think,
ones, the dividers too, and other things. If people
yeah,
start to
this
use that.
everything in here is good to have. So perhaps we can do this. I used defines in the bGeigieCast. cast. We could just go to the cons expressions even, or char pointers.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
one question about
that's
the
fine.
version. I was wondering.
Yes.
The versioning, can we just make one number, or why do we have three numbers?
I
Yeah,
mean, like
very
this is
official
currently like
one.
0.1.0.
Yes,
Yeah,
I need it too. Yeah, that should be automatically in there. So if they take it, the version should be taken from the how to say, from the major and minor and patch.
yeah, this one.
Yeah, that should be automatically goes into the bGeigieZen version. You understand? So we take this data, the major and the patch should automatically generate the bGeigieZen version. Yellow. You understand?
I think I tried that with the bGeigieCast, cast, but you cannot create a string from numbers in a define.
Oh,
Well,
not in the
you
define.
can of
Yeah.
course like with
Well,
some like some casting or I don't know.
Yeah, you can.
I was working
Con-
with defines back then in the bGeigieCast time, and I was like, well, I'll just do it like this because then I can use this as way.
Okay.
Uh,
I prefer your
Okay.
way because that's very simple for easy to implement.
it
Yeah.
would be like
Instead
this.
of that, yeah, I did something like that too. No, yeah.
I think the only difference would be if you would like to have some checks like connect to a remote server to retrieve the latest version and then compare with your with the current version, and then maybe show a message like, oh, there's an update available. Those kind of things. Then you would want to have these integers, of course.
Yeah, but still, you can just do the one number.
Well,
that wouldn't matter so much, I think. Okay, for me, it was a kind of a little bit overkill.
yeah, but this is not a number. This is a string, so you can not really compare.
Yeah, you can take it out and pick it up the number, and that if it's within the quotes, then you can just take it out. Okay.
We can also literally do it like this.
Yeah.
Like we just have both.
Oh yeah, that's much simpler. I prefer that, to be honest. But I can understand that Robin made it nice and officially the major, minor, and patch.
Yes, of course.
Well, they can stay there. They just don't do anything.
Yeah, don't do anything. That's fine. Yeah, I prefer that we have two options. So if you want to use it later, that's fine too.
And if you're really worried about memory storage, then just make them const expr and they'll disappear at compile time.
True. But we at the moment we have no issues with memory. I think this is fine.
Okay.
We have.
Yeah.
By the way, we have about 6 minutes left on the meeting.
All right, let's finish it up in 6 minutes. So as for the things we can do in the next few days.
Yeah, I can work on the screens and some ideas of how we can interact and make a drawing of it. We can discuss it from there.
Screens into multiple states.
Yeah, the screens, yes. No, the screen, how the screen look like. That's I don't mind to make that.
Oh yeah, you can make the designs. Yeah, that would be great. and then we can
Yeah.
discuss on some kind of
Um,
flow as well.
any suggestions for what I could do? I mean, I've got the GPS here, so I could just set up the GPS at least.
Yeah, if you want to, that would be great. Like adding implementation for the GPS connector, that would be cool.
And you have I2C. What kind of GPS do you have? Louis.
Yeah, so you can work on the GPS. That would be cool.
Louis, you still there?
Yes. Okay. Yeah, you froze up for a little while.
I see.
So yeah. So I'll take off GPS connector.
The GPS you have is an I2C GPS.
It's whatever. Where'd it go?
Because that's
hang
not
on a
what
sec.
we're using.
Hang on a second. Let me just go reach for it.
You need a serial GPS. It reads out serials, not an
Oh, I see.
I2C.
Okay, so I've got the Cyrocom 0010. So it's
No. I'm just considering the protocol they're using for sending data. If they have an
well, I know I'll look up the documentation. Otherwise, I'll have to get one, I suppose.
yeah, the one we're using is it's a very standard they use for helicopters, or sorry, for drones.
For drones, okay. So it's a serial
What's it
interface.
called?
Okay.
I have to look for it. It's
All right.
Chinese maker, and we're using the bigger GPS. So it receives about an efforts about 3 or 4 more satellites than the bGeigieZen Nano.
Great. Would it be useful for me to get one as well?
Yes, I
For
can send
development
links
purposes.
for that. Yeah, that would be useful for troubleshooting. But I think you have other things to do first. For troubleshooting, and I'm talking with Peter and I requested to send you and Joseph and Louis one bGeigieZen Alpha. But he was not sure what to do yet, so it's up to him. Because then you have a whole set, that's easier.
Yeah, that's true. But working with separate components is also fine for development.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. So I just see that Josh just posted just in Slack. So I just told him to just jump in on the link, but I don't see him at the moment.
Yeah, so
okay, so I'll just make it. I'll just put something in here. Just basically asking the what is the device number? GPS device, part name, part number.
We have about 1 minute left, so there's other things we have to discuss.
No,
not really.
No,
not right now.
I did skip on the thing that I was struggling with the touchscreen, which I wanted to share my findings, but I can do that next week as well.
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay.
It has to do with the rotation of the screen.
Yes. Okay.
Please
But
remember
I figured it out.
Yeah, that brings back painful memories. I could walk you
remember
through.
that.
No, it's already fixed. I can show it in like 3 seconds.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, show me 3 seconds.
Okay, so how we rotate the screens is we rotate the screen, we print everything, and we rotate it back.
That makes sense. Yes. That's a good work.
This is the fix.
Like that.
Okay.
Because then the buttons also work as intended.
Right.
That's all.
I see.
Oh, good. That's a nice one.
Yes.
Okay, because I basically just kept everything. It's like, okay, we're all rotated. We're consistently rotated everything, and off it goes.
Yeah, the thing is, if you clear the screen, then it resets the rotation as well. So
That's right. So I had
It,
to.
it took me a while to
so
get the
in-
buttons to work this way,
Okay.
but
Yes.
doing it like this, it will just be consistent.
Okay.
We just
I
have
say
to keep in
I say we
mind
go.